Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to have some fun with a very naughty mocking poem that Ogden Nash has written called Common Cold. Let's see how many of us happen to catch common cold by the end of this video or not. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin this poetic journey. Ogden Nash was an American poet who's known for light verse, and he often writes funny, humorous poems. His poetry often featured clever use of wordplay. His works cover a wide range of topics, and you know what? They are from everyday experiences, things that we experience in life. You can see that from the very poem we'll be doing today, that is Common Cold. So let's see what is in store for us. In stanza 1, we see the speaker is addressing the doctor. He's requesting the doctor to leave because he does not want to be treated or be told by the doctor what to do for a common ailment as common as the common cold. The speaker over here emphasizes that he does not wish to seek the advice of doctor or the consultation from the doctor or even be informed about something so small, so trivial, something which is very common as much as is the common cold. In stanza 2, we have a description being given of the symptoms of common cold. The poet over here is painting a picture for us of the discomfort, the difficulty we face when we catch a common cold. The speaker over here is using exaggerated language. He is exaggerating the whole experience of the common cold, saying that your brows rather, they start pounding out, your lips get swollen, sometimes occasionally we also get fever, eyes turn red, and he's comparing the turning of the eyes into the color red to the skies turning reddish colored in the months of April. Then he's saying that how people snuffle, they snort, they sniff, and one handkerchief after the other gets exhausted, gets dirty because of constant sniffing from the common cold. So then he says, the cold you wave away as naught is the dammest cold man ever caught. That is, he is feeling that common cold is actually a very common occurrence, but at the same time, the symptoms of common cold cause a lot of discomfort. In stanza 3, we see the speaker is becoming even more funny. He's saying that give here you scientific fossil, and he's using all fancy terms just to describe a thing so simple and common as the common cold. And it's like a tongue twister if you read this stanza. Here is the genuine cold colossal, the cold of which researchers dream, the perfect cold, the cold supreme. This honored system humbly holds the super cold to end all colds. My goodness, this is one task of reading this stanza. You can try it out by reading it 5 times. By the end of it, you'll already feel like your tongue is getting stuck in reading the lines. So over here, basically, he's providing a humorous, funny angle by making cold seem something which is very grand, because he's using terms like the cold colossal, the cold supreme. He's basically mocking the scientific fascination with common cold, and he humorously compares it to political ideologies. That is, people tend to think that if you are indulging in politics or science, it's a very big thing that you're doing. For politics, it's as if you're serving the whole country, so you're supposed to be considered important. You can understand it with no political bias as such. I can tell you, whenever we have ministers and political personalities even crossing the road, they are in their convoy, it's like a grand appearance on the road. There's a huge convoy which is passing by the road with so much of noise and light and whatnot, and as if they are like the most important people who exist on earth. Similarly, scientists are given a lot of respect. Yes, they are genuinely grand in terms of the researches they do, the possibilities that they open up the world to. You can take example of the scientific missions, the Chandrayaan 3 and all the other important scientific discoveries. We are all surrounded by a world of scientific discoveries, right? So those things, yes, are supposed to be grand, but then the poet is giving a funny angle to it and saying that the doctors treat common cold as something as grand as things of politics or science, but it is something which is very common. It is a common cold, not to be given so much importance to. In stanza 4, the speaker continues that satire, that mocking element by describing common cold as a very intricate and monstrous creation of scientists using exaggerated imagery. The poet over here makes a reference to an Olympic laboratory. This further adds a touch of absurdity, of something strange, to the portrayal of bacteria which is responsible for causing common cold. Because you see, the stanza begins, "Bacilli swarm within my portals, such as were never conceived by mortals." That is, the bacilli is a kind of bacteria, so that is the bacteria that enters the human body. The mortals over here refers to human beings, but he says that these common cold bacteria are also bred, they are also created by scientists in the laboratory to conduct experiments so that they can make a medicine for it. And then he's comparing bacteria to be as large as mice. He's using a simile over here. Bacteria as large as mice with feet of fire and heads of eyes. So at the same time there is simile, and at the same time he's also using another figure of speech, that is personification, because human-like elements are being given to bacteria by saying that it is made of feet which is made of fire and the head is made of ice, and they never interrupt for slumber. That is, this bacteria never sleeps, it just keeps on stamping and dancing as the elephant into a kind of a dance form called the rumba. And that is how these bacteria, they further create havoc, they create trouble for the person who has caught common cold. In the final stanza, the speaker is using historical and literary references to further make fun of the doctor who trivializes common cold. The absurd comparison over here emphasizes how the poet is ridiculing the work or the diagnosis of the doctor and elevating the common cold to a level of historical importance, that there are some doctors who think common cold is such a big disease that needs proper diagnosis. I remember once when I had gone to the doctor, I was genuinely not being able to tolerate the cold that I had got at that point of time. And of course, you first try to self-diagnose yourself, you first try to self-medicate yourself, which is, yes, wrong, but I was just doing up home remedies. And it is at that time when the doctor told me that, who told you to even maybe take steam or whatever things I was doing at home? You should have come to me in the first place so that I could have given you medicine. Now if it's getting severe, yes, you should go, but otherwise common cold, it goes away in 2-3 days on its own. You don't need to always visit the doctor unless you have something majorly important coming up and you genuinely need a medicine to reduce your symptoms, to make your symptoms more manageable. So that is exactly what the poet is also saying, that the doctors treat common cold as if it is a very big disease, but in reality it is not to be given so much importance. It will go away on its own. You need to give your body's defense mechanism also a chance to fight these bacteria and foreign bodies that enter your body. For a better understanding, see, these are the 3 things that the poem is dealing with. It is dealing with satire, irony, humor and wit. Now, the poem satirizes the medical profession's seriousness about the common cold, and it's doing it through exaggerated language. That is, it is mocking. The word satire means to mock. It is making fun of the fact that how the medical professionals, that is the doctors, they treat common cold as such a serious ailment and they are nearly wasting their time. Secondly, the irony. That is, the irony is generally a contrast, that you try to present situation opposite to what it is. And we see this very commonly being done in the poem. If you see, the poem deals with common cold by calling it a very grand thing. Remember, there was a stanza where he is calling it something grand, as comparing it to the work of the scientists and the politicians. So that is exactly how the poet is making use of irony, and lastly the poem does poke an element of laughter for its readers. We tend to laugh at the way in which, through language, the poet is making fun of the way the medical professionals treat common cold as such a serious ailment. So these are the three aspects which I wanted to draw your attention to while you read the poem Common Cold. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.